As you can see, I am not in my usual set. I am visiting a friend in Southern Oregon in a little town, practicing social distancing and good hygiene, and I hope you are too, and I hope you are well. And I've also been doing Zoom sessions with a number of my clients, and one of the things I'm hearing is that they're all struggling with snacking and mindless eating. So I decided to, first of all, recommend that they go back and look at the video I did called The Problem with Grazing. And part of what that says is that one way to nip that in the bud is to really input meal structure, have regular meals. Always know what and when you're going to eat next, and that can really be helpful. So I thought what I might do is give you an idea of what I've been eating during my lockdown up here in Oregon. Starting with breakfast, one of the things I really like to do often is I slice a banana and I put some almond butter or peanut butter on it, and I have it with a latte, and it just stays with me, and it's just a yummy thing, especially when I'm not that hungry. Now, I've also been eating cottage cheese with fruit and my ground flax seeds. I usually have the flax in a shake, but somehow I'm just not feeling the shake thing these days. Maybe it's because I've slowed down and that it just doesn't feel right to be drinking a shake. The other breakfast that I really like is a couple of eggs. I fry a couple of eggs over easy. I have them with an orange and a piece of toast. And I actually found here at the house this jar of pear preserves. Southern Oregon is famous for its pears, and it is really a treat and so delicious. Now at lunchtime, I often just eat leftovers. So moving on to dinner, I wanted to tell you about a recipe that I developed when I was but a child. When I was a dietitian just starting out years ago, I developed this little collection of recipes called Fast Food at Home. And the whole idea was that you didn't need to eat fast food because it was so easy to cook healthily quickly. So what you do is you saute chicken. I use chicken thighs, bone in, no skin, but you could use breast or whatever you want. You can do it with onion and celery. I didn't. And then I mined my cupboards and found this jar of pasta sauce, dumped that on the chicken once it was browned, and I added some Parmesan cheese and a splash of wine, got plenty of that, and it turned into this wonderful chicken Parmesan dish. And I served it with a side of sliced Brussels sprouts with some onion, and it was just wonderful. You can serve it with pasta if you want. So then the next night, I had some leftover sauce, the tomato sauce from the chicken, and I had an eggplant, which I sliced and grilled, and then I put the leftover sauce on it, and here it is. There's still some leftover. I'll have that tonight, and that was great. So then, you know, when we're in this chaotic, crazy mode, we just really like our old comfort foods, and I had a hankering for a pork chop. I was raised on a farm in Iowa, as you may know, and I ate a lot of pork. I don't eat a lot of meat these days, but nothing I love more than a pork chop. So I got my cast iron skillet out and I grilled it with a little salt and pepper, and I served it with this great salad that I love. This was actually in my diabetes cookbook. It's just radishes sliced thinly and oranges with a bit of mint. Delicious with a pork chop. I had that with a little toast. It was great. And then the next night I made myself a big salad, and I like to put corn in my salad. It's another Iowa thing. And red onion and some red cabbage. And I had that with some mackerel that I found in the cupboard here in this house, which is a real nice cousin of tuna, very high in omega-3 fatty acids. And I had that on a piece of toast. It was just a really lovely dinner with a giant salad and the mackerel. So high in omega-3 fatty acids. And then, I had a leftover pork, so I made a pork taco. I had corn tortillas, poblano chili, which I grilled in the cast iron skillet, and I made a little guacamole. But I did not have any garlic, which I usually make my guacamole with lime, garlic, salt. That's it. But I didn't have any garlic. So I made it without, and then I also didn't have any tomatoes or pico de gallo because there weren't any in my store, and that's what we're dealing with right now. So what the point is here is that we need to ratchet up the importance of having regular meals and ratchet down the importance of having those meals be perfect. I ate 2 of those tacos and they were fabulous. Without the garlic and the tomato, it was just fine. So then at night, before I go to bed, I've been having a bit of trail mix, sometimes with chocolate in it. And then I found at the market something I also never eat, these chocolate covered peanuts, which reminded me of my grandmother. So I'm gonna have those tonight too. Now listen, I know that what works for me may not be what works for you. You may be vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, whatever. The point is that our health is really important right now, and it's a really good time to get creative, get in the kitchen, and dine. And that is smart eating.